We have with us in our live studio right now, Vernon Crowder, a senior analyst at Rabobank in the Food and Agribusiness Group. And Vern, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
How long have you been with Rabobank now?
I've been with Rabobank nearly 5 years now, but I've been doing this kind of thing, paying attention to what's going on in food and ag for more than 30 years now.
You're seeing the cycles through the years, the ups and downs of this industry, huh?
There's some cycles that go on, but we've definitely seen the world changing. The demand for better quality food and ag throughout the world is getting so great. We've seen prices reach new planes. In fact, a new study that we just released today on forage, Western hay production, talks about the increased demand for hay from the Western states.
Sure. And
how those prices have gotten on a new plane.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten on a new plane. So some would tell you they've just gotten out of control. We're paying, what, $350 for milk hay, huh?
Last summer, it got that high for milk quality hay. It's a little off from that now. We expect to probably be down a little bit from last year, but it depends upon this drought. You know, the things that could bring the hay prices down is obviously the value of our dollar. Chinese are getting a little picky about testing their hay imports, and then on top of it we got the port slowdown, and then milk prices are down real far. But if this drought is as bad as it looks like it could be, we could see even more fallowed acreage, and that might increase the price of hay again.
Yeah. When we talk about, you mentioned China, I'm just kind of curious, was that involved in that report as well with the forage?
Yeah, we looked at the real demand for hay in the last 5-8 years has been to export markets. It's not only to United Arab Emirates, where they don't want to use their water because they don't have enough, so they've been importing all their own hay needs for dairy production. But then you got China too, that's scared of their own milk, and they've been increasing their milk imports as well as their own milk production at bigger farms. So they've been importing a lot of our hay as well. About 20% of the U.S. hay crop now goes to foreign markets. So that's helped raise those prices as well.
Are we seeing parallel exports for say, dairy products and hay? I mean, because China slowed down on the milk side.
They slowed down just recently, but we expect them to be back in. Yes, they're not only producing their own milk, but they're buying a lot of milk products from New Zealand, from Australia, from us, at times too, and we could sell even more there as well. But we are selling a lot abroad. We think about right now of the U.S. dairy market, it's about 12%, but we think more than 20% of milk from California or from the Western states goes to foreign markets.
Yeah, that's a big factor. And when we're talking about, you mentioned the slowing of the ports, and that seems to be kind of a buzz going around World Egg Expo. What can you tell us about that again?
This is a real problem right now. It started later last year with a slowdown by the dock workers there, and it's turned into be a real fight. The federal government's trying to bring mediators in, but this last weekend it was literally shut down. What this means to exporters of all kinds of products, not just hay, but dairy products, citrus, nuts, all the products that are going from the West Coast ports. If your product doesn't go out the day it's scheduled to go out on the ship, you got to totally redocument. And then if it doesn't go out for 3 or 4 weeks, you got to store it someplace while you're waiting for a ship that can take it. So it's been putting a lot of product back in the market and costing exporters a lot of extra money.
Yeah, it sounds like some headaches out there in that regard. Yeah.
Big headaches, financial headaches.
So I don't know if you call it the perfect storm, but you're talking about exports and the ports and the water. You throw all those three things together, and
it's a challenging question this year. But the one thing that we know about farmers is their resilience, their ability to respond. And it's amazing that they've been able to cope with how bad the drought has been, but they have managed to cope with it so far. But this year could be tough.
Looking at that forage report that just came out, then are we going to? Do you have a projection on prices in the future?
We talk about the likelihood that price could be down this year compared to last year, but we don't think it'll come near to the historical 10-year average, which is $150. It's probably hovering around $200 now. average hay. But we don't think it'll get down to historical lows, mid-range. But one of the things that's driving it down is dairy prices, milk prices. Milk prices are off sharply from where they were last fall.
Yeah, that was a pretty good, well, it was one of the better years, or if not the best year ever for a dairy farmer last year, wasn't it?
It was a good year. It helped replenish some of the capital that they lost over the last 5 years. But dairymen anticipated this, drop off in prices. We know that one of the quickest cure for high prices is high prices.
Yeah, you hear that, and you analyze the markets. Did you expect these prices to drop like they did in such a short period of time?
We expected it. We expected a slowdown. We expected the prices to come down. The real question is, when will they bounce back? We're looking for later this year. We're looking for better prices next year.
And is that because we're relying on the export market to come back, or is
it's primarily the export market, even our own market, and mean a slowdown in production here. As the prices encourage less production, but it also encourages more exports at the same time. So that'll be good news. Right now, there's a little bit of question in the market about how there's a drought right now in New Zealand. So some people are asking how much that'll curtail their production. So that could actually increase our export opportunity as well, earlier than we even expected.
I'm always amazed at, when we talk about New Zealand as our competitor, but they're what, the size of Montana?
Yeah, but they export more than 90% of their milk.
Yeah, they've got that down, huh?
They became very market oriented a long time ago, and they've really focused on the export markets.
So the forage report, getting back to that, if somebody wanted to read that in detail, how could they go about that?
They need to talk to their Rabobanker.
Okay.
That's something we share with clients and people that we want to be clients. So they would need to talk to their Rabobanker.
Okay.
Okay.
That's incentive enough to talk to your Rabobanker. Well, thanks, Vernon Crowder. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, Bill.
Senior Analyst with Rabobank, the Food and Agribusiness Division. And we'll hope to have some better news here in a few months, huh?
Yeah, no, it's still good news.
It's still good news.
That's right.
People are still profitable out there.
No, you have downs and ups, and we will survive this too.
Okay. Thanks, Vern. Appreciate it.